guys, how's it going and welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing well. This is a video I've wanted to do for a while now, but I've never had the chance until now. And basically I have taken the idea from BT Sports What I Wore, where basically they follow around a professional footballer to look at some of the shirts he wore through his playing career. Now mine is going to be a little bit different because I'm not a professional footballer, but I've got some shirts behind me, got some shirts down here, I've got a few retro tops like this one here. So I've had a little bit of a look over them, not massively. I took them out of some huge bags from under the bed the other day, and I'm pretty sure I've got some more back at my parents' house somewhere as well. So I've hung them all up. We're just going to get into it and pretty much see what we find. Right then, so to start off, we'll go with the shirt that I'm wearing. Didn't put this one on for any particular reason other than just I thought it looked good when I found it out of the bag. This is the 99-2000 home shirt for Newcastle United. I'm interested actually for this one and any of the other shirts we look at. I always think of a player, one player or maybe two, when I look at a shirt. So for this one, when I looked at it for the first time in ages the other day, I thought of the late Gary Speed. He was the player that I think of when I saw this shirt. I'm sure for some of you it'll be someone else maybe, and same with some of the other shirts, so let me know. This shirt, I think there's two versions of it. So this is obviously the Newcastle Brown Ale logo, and it is the last home shirt that we had sponsored by Newcastle Brown Ale, which I think is a big part of this shirt and some of the other ones that I've got. There's an NTL version of this shirt as well. And briefly remembering back to that season, it was the one where Bobby Robson took over and we beat Sheffield Wednesday 8-0. So that's a little bit about this shirt. We'll start off with looking at my favourite Newcastle top. Right then, so here are a few more football shirts. If you didn't know it already, I am a Newcastle fan, welcome to the channel. But my favourite Newcastle top, or Newcastle tops, are definitely these two. And I'm sure it'll be the same for a lot of you guys as well. I mean, you can't get much more classic Newcastle than that. From the 95-96 season, 97 as well maybe, but 95-96, unfortunately that was when we didn't win the league, but more happily remembered for it being the entertainers of Newcastle United. It feels, well, I was just about here for that, so I don't personally remember it, but I've still got these fantastic tops. Out of the two, I would say that is my favourite, just because it's the black and white. But I'm going to actually put a little poll up in the corner. Vote for which one of these two you like the most. I think they're probably the most iconic. If we start off with this one, I mentioned earlier, Newcastle Brown Ale. I mean, look at that collar. Fantastic. If I had to pick a player for this one, I think it's got to be Ginola. I think he's the one people may associate with this top. Maybe someone else, let me know. And speaking of this collar, Newcastle tried to emulate it not too long ago. Not much of a retro top, but we're kind of jumping around a little bit. Hopefully that's okay. But this one from a few years ago, the 125-year anniversary top for Newcastle. You can see they've kind of tried to give it a little bit of a go. I think that is a nice shirt as well, and it's not anyone's fault really, but you know, Fun 88, I'm sure they're doing cracking things, but it just, for me, it's just not Newcastle Brown Ale. So that is my favourite top of the collection. For the away top, again, different logo, same colour, and Newcastle tried to emulate this one as well. I never actually got it myself, but I know it was very popular with some of the Newcastle fans, so I'll put a picture on screen somewhere for you now. Yeah, let me know if you've got the replica of this one. Maybe I should get it. Let's move on, take a look at maybe some of my older shirts. Right then, so a lot of my older tops are at the front here, but quickly to mention another one, because I spotted this the other day before I basically found the rest of them under the bed, and this one, it caught my eye because, well, who does this top remind you of? Because for me it was Andy Carroll, and that's just what made us laugh, because it's come full circle. He's the one I remember wearing this in the Championship, getting us promoted. Him and Kevin Nolan banging in the goals back up to the Premier League. So you know, it's funny how like it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It was 10 years ago, and he's back again, trying to do what he can for her. And while we're on the topic of this one, I'll put that there, because I also have the away top from this season, which was quite famously named the Custard Cream Kit. It's not one of my favourites. I remember at the time thinking, dear God, but actually now it's quite fun to have. And I think this is the only long sleeve top I've got. So next time I play and it's cold, I'll put this one on. So that was promotion. While we're on the subject, very quickly we'll look at the low times as well. This was the previous season. This was the shirt we got relegated in. Let me know who you think of when you see this shirt. For me, unfortunately, it's our good friend Michael Owen. Everything went wrong. Not only did we get relegated, we had the whole Keegan situation as well. And to be honest, the reason I bring it up is because, as much as this is a very upsetting shirt to look at, the thing that still makes me laugh when I look at it is that when I went in to buy a shirt, I looked in the bargain bin. I have no idea what happened, if this poor bloke, if they got his name wrong or if he didn't like it, but in there was Jared09. So Jared, if this was yours, then I've looked after it for you. It cost me half the price because of it, and that's probably the only thing I smile about when I see this top. And as well, this purple top is the away top from that season as well. So there you go. Cheers, Jared. Moving on to the older kits that I mentioned, we've got 3 here. Are they still retro? When they're replicas, I'm not sure. These aren't the original deal, unlike the other ones we've seen already. But I thought it would still be quite nice to look at them, because we've got a top here from the late 60s, early 70s, and note the crest here, how much that has changed. And also the material is very thick. And then we move along slightly into this one, which was mid to late 70s. Again, another crest change, this time with the magpie. Again, a different kind of material, a different kind of collar. And then a third one, as we head into the 80s, note the blue star with the Tyne Bridge has started on our shirts, and also another crest. So obviously all of the shirts we looked at so far have all been this one. So in a way, you've got all 4 crests along in a row there, which is pretty cool. I think of the 3, I like this one the most. If you watch my videos, you'll probably see me wearing this one. But yeah, again, they're all quite old, but I am a fan of all 3. Let's step away from Newcastle for a minute. As I mentioned, I have a lot of Newcastle tops, but I have some others as well, including this England top from 2010. I'm not sure if it's quite retro, if it's 2010, but I remember being very excited about getting this top. It was the first top, other than Jared, that I got the name on the back. Went and got Rooney 10 with the 10 on the front, ready for that World Cup 2010, where we barely got through the group stages, and then Frank Lampard scored against Germany in the round of 16, I think it was, and we went out. So yeah, not fantastic memories, but there is another England top here which has better memories. I'm not sure if this really counts for the video, considering I think it cost a £5 from Primark or Sainsbury's, but this is what I was wearing 2 years ago, pretty much exact, in the 2018 World Cup, when things were a lot better. I think my highlight from that tournament was the penalty shootout win against Colombia. That was a good one. And unfortunately there's nothing happening this summer, but I'm sure it'll come quick enough for next year. So in terms of foreign football shirts, I don't have an awful lot. You can see I've got a Paris Saint-Germain top up there, which I think that one is real. So there's that one. We've got a Barcelona top over here, which is so good that the authentic sticker has actually rubbed off. So I've got a few. I do like, and it's very wrinkled, I apologise, this Inter Milan strip. I think this was around the mid-2000s. Any Inter Milan fans, please let me know down below. I am a fan of this and I've not worn it in a long time, so I'm glad I actually found it while starting to do this video. And I'm pretty sure this was around the time that Figo played for Inter Milan. And the reason I mentioned that, I don't know if I was a secret Figo fan, because I also found a Portugal top, which has Figo on the back. So I don't ever remember being a Figo fan as a child, so maybe I was secretly a fan without realising it. And for the eagle-eyed viewers, you might realise there is no badge up there. So I believe this is another fake. Welcome to my collection. I think that pretty much rounds it up, to be honest. To quickly shoot through a few of my final tops, I found this one. I mentioned earlier that I wasn't a footballer, so it wasn't quite the same as what BT did. This is, I think, the only shirt that is actually mine that I was given to play in for a football team, which was under 21s. I mean, it looks like I played for England. I didn't, and I don't believe this is an actual England top, it's just an association one. Number 11 on the back, tricky winger back in the day. I always thought it looked a bit like, well, basically a retro England top, so I do really like that one. I have here a Deportivo goalkeeping top, which I also got a long time ago, which I was a big fan of. The fact that it has basically like sticky mesh for a goalkeeper top, I thought was fantastic. I bought this online. I just really liked it. Canterbury was, you know, a bit unusual as well for a football top, so I was a big fan of that. And just in general, I'm trying to basically pick out some honourable mentions. There's a one here which is not retro at all, which is unfortunately another top that Newcastle were relegated in, but it was the first top I bought since starting the channel, and is actually still in the thumbnail logo of the channel now, with me wearing that. So there you go. Again, big fan of this away top up on the wall here, and I could go on forever, to be honest. If you're still with me, I hope you're enjoying the video. Another very nice retro Newcastle top here, A6, is that how you pronounce that? Again, with the big logo and a lot thinner material. I'm sure they only sponsored us for a season or two, so I'm not sure how rare this one is. I quite like how large the badge is in the corner for Newcastle. And I think I've spotted one more that I'm going to mention, which is this one here. Who do you think of when you see this shirt? Alan Shearer. The final season for Alan Shearer at Newcastle, he was wearing this one, so that is quite a good memory. And well, he wore it at his testimonial as well. So yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I could talk about all of them forever, but I'm trying to cut it down a little bit in this video. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know if there was a personal favourite of yours that we've looked at. If you've got any retro tops, let me know. And yeah, hope you're keeping well. As I've said, thank you for watching. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.